Welcome to Pickering Museum Village. We are live today with What Was It Really Like?
Hi, I'm Katrina Pike at Pickering Museum Village, and I'm here on our drive-through storytelling Friday, and we're going to use these Fridays to get a little bit more in depth and learn more about what it was like to live in Pickering in the 1850s. Today, we're going to talk about hygiene.
Ooh, I've always had lots of questions about that. What was brushing your teeth like back then?
Well, there weren't a lot of people who actually brushed their teeth. In fact, teeth brushing didn't become a common once or twice a day thing until into the 20th century. That's not to say that people didn't have toothbrushes. They did, but usually it was the upper classes that could afford them. We know that toothbrushes were used as early as 3000 BCE in China. They were made with ivory handles and animal bristles. And we also know that the first patent in the United States for a toothbrush was in 1857. Instead of a toothbrush, people might have used their finger, a rag with soap, or they might have used a stick and just rubbed the plaque off of their teeth.
Wow, I can't imagine not brushing my teeth every day. How often did people bathe?
Well, if you're talking about actually getting into a tub of water, wasn't really happening in the 1850s. It was a lot of work to make a bath. So instead, there was a washstand in every bedroom with a pitcher of water and a basin, and you washed your face, your hands, and your feet regularly. And the washcloth might go other places in the body when needed. But it was actually believed, and it was John Wesley who founded the Methodist Church in the 1700s, who said cleanliness is next to godliness, but he did not mean the body. He meant the clothes that were next to the skin. Your underwear should be washed regularly because it drew the impurities out of the body.
Did people have soap back then? What did they use to wash?
They had soap, but soap was mostly for laundry. Soap was homemade on the farm with animal fat, coal oil, lye, and ashes. It was terribly caustic and harsh on the skin. You certainly wouldn't have wanted to use it on your face. Maybe your hands. But in terms of milder shampoos, again, that was really something people who were wealthier or even had access to in Europe might have been purchasing in general stores. In fact, ads for general stores in the 1850s aren't advertising soap. They're advertising toothbrushes for those who could afford them, and they were advertising perfume because perfume was used to mask the body odor.
Wow, that sounds lovely. It was said that in Victorian times, a woman's crowning glory was her hair. Surely she must have washed that more often.
No, indeed. And you are right. Her crowning glory was her hair. Imagine how long that hair was before it was done up and pinned. It went right down to her waist. Can you imagine trying to wash that more than once a month? So that's what most ladies did. They washed their hair once a month. If it was oily, they might have washed it twice a month. And they did use soap, that really harsh, caustic soap on their hair, and it stripped the oil right out of their hair. So as a result, they had to add oil back into the hair. That's why antimacassar oil became so incredibly popular in the mid-century, because people's hair was dry and brittle. And that's why women made doilies for their furniture. It wasn't because they thought it was pretty, it was because they wanted to save their upholstery from all the macassar oil. And they called those doilies antimacassars. Now, just before we end, I'd like to share some artifact images with you. We do have in our collection a personal care set from the McCrate family. And you see here a nail buffer, a toothbrush, a nail file, nail scissors, and a little pot for tooth powder or toothpaste. They're all made of ivory, and the bristles on the brush are indeed animal bristles. And here we have a close-up of that toothbrush. But we also know that this set dates closer to the end of the century, not the 1850s. Thanks for joining me as we got into hygiene in the 1850s. Please come back next week for another live post. about something related to life in the 1850s in Pickering. But better yet, book your tour now for our storytelling tours on Fridays in July and August. Thank you.